Hi again, it's Yanni here. Welcome back to Raw and Recovery. For starters, hope everybody is safe out there. Please stay home. Please stay home. So right now I go back to my story, my first week in rehab. The hardest week I ever had to go through in my life. I remember looking at the schedule and I had to wake up at 6:30 in the morning and go to bed at 11 o'clock at night. I never had that kind of discipline before. I never had that kind of structure. I was always one of those people that did whatever I want, whenever I wanted, with whoever I wanted, right? And here I was having to ask for things, having to ask to go upstairs, having to do my bed in the morning. I'm 38 years old. I've never done my bed, let's say, and it's fucked up, I went in there open-minded. I did do everything they asked. I really, really had a hard time. I remember I was obliged to exercise. We'll start with that. I had never exercised in my life before. I played some hockey when I was young, but nothing serious. I was 255 pounds going in there, bloated. I remember I went there on a Tuesday. Wednesday morning, I had to do gym. It wasn't voluntary. It wasn't whoever wants does it. It was an obligation, right? We trained 3 times a week. And I remember I got on the treadmill and after 2 minutes, my nose started bleeding. I freaked. I thought I was gonna die. My heartbeat was beating fast. I got off the treadmill. They brought me upstairs. They checked me, and everything was okay. And I remember I was exhausted. By 5-6 o'clock, I was exhausted. And I had to follow the structure, right? They throw you on the structure right away. Today, I do understand why they do that. But then it was really, really hard. And I remember they kept on bringing speakers. Okay, and I remember the speaker, which is a friend of mine today, was talking, and I always had a belief that people with drug problems, people with alcohol problems, were like bums. I always had this belief it was those, like, I'm not judging, but people that would carry jobs, had cars, had nice clothes, had money, that's not our problem, right? It's a part of the way we live, but it's not me. I'm not like those guys or those people. But I mean, like, the fucked up thing is like I saw this guy, amazing guy, very well dressed. I was really attracted to the way he was dressed, and he's sharing his experience, strength, and hope. And shit, man, his fucking experience was exactly like mine. Because today I've learned that drugs and alcohol weren't the problem. I was the problem. So I go back there, the first speaker I listened to, and I was in tears, just crying. And I remember him, but I don't wanna share his name, And the whole point is that he went through everything that I went through. And the guy looked so happy. And I couldn't believe that this gentleman in front of me had 14 years clean. The fucked up thing is also, I remember that, getting back to that first week in rehab, I couldn't sleep at night. I had these crazy dreams. I would wake up, I would freak out. I remember I had this icon, okay? And I was holding on to it like it was dear life. And I was just praying. Please, God, make this go away from me. Please, God, make this go away from me. Please, God, make this go away from me. And then at 6:30, I was up again. I would get maybe 2, 3 hours of sleep, complete silence. I had my shadow that was sleeping in the same room with me, because in rehab we sleep 2 by 2, right? Because it eliminates the fact of isolating, right? There was no television, no television allowed. So anyways, so I started feeling all these new things that first week. And I remember walking up to my drug counselor and telling him, is this normal? Is that normal? No, and he would explain me. He would explain me. He would explain me. And I thank God that I wasn't resistant to everything that they were teaching in there. I thank God. You know, it was a structure. We would eat at 8, for example, eat at 12, eat at 5. You know? It was like, wow, like, what do you mean? I had to do my own laundry. I had to, you know, all these like basic things of living, you know? Just being a responsible human being, washing dishes. You know, I thought I was always too cool or too special or too it to sit there and, you know, wash dishes. You know, I'm not a dishwasher. I came here to get sober. But again, today I understand why I had to wash those dishes. I understand why I had to cook. I understand why, you know, I had to do all these things. So anyways, we were acquired jobs, right? So the first week that I was there, I had to follow my sponsor, my shadow, I'm sorry, and he was on the toilet duties, right? So every morning I had to scrub 6 toilets. Go on my knees and scrub 6 toilets. Let me tell you, that breaks down an ego very fast, you know? I never thought in my life that I'd have to be on my knees scrubbing toilets. But you know what? Today I look back and scrubbing those toilets saved my life. Not resisting to scrubbing toilets, you know? So I was just doing them the best that I could do them. And you know what? I've never, ever, ever prayed so much. You know, we had structure, we had groups, we had interventions, we had one-on-ones, you know. I was really, really well surrounded, and I was lucky because I was with a really, really good group at the time. We were 15 people. And wake up every morning, scrub toilets. Before I go to sleep at night, scrub toilets. That's all I was understanding. And it was funny because I didn't get it. Like, I kept on asking every one of the 14 people apart from me that, like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we here? What is this? You know? And I was always wondering, what are my friends doing on the outside? What is my girlfriend or my ex-girlfriend doing on the outside? Oh my God, the world is gonna miss me. I'm missing the world. But you know what? The world doesn't need me to turn. You know, whether I'm there or not, part of the world, not on top of the world, part of the world, okay? It doesn't make a difference. Nothing changes. People were telling me that. My counselor was telling me that. He's a human being that I'm very, very grateful for today, you know? And it was hard. It was really, 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 really hard. I'm never gonna forget, especially that first week, the effort, just the effort that I had to put just to get out of bed in the morning. I was one of those big bingers that would sleep, let's say, from a Wednesday night to a Friday morning straight. You know, imagine I had reached a point where I didn't have even normal sleeping habits. And now this whole new world is introduced to me, a world of sobriety, a world of recovery, right? So Yanni, what are you gonna do with this world? You know, there was all these bunch of guys, girls, happy. Like, I didn't understand how a human being can be happy without using and drinking. Like I was looking at all these people, not my fellows that were in the rehab with me, people that were coming from outside to help people like me, okay, and my counselor, okay, as a former addict in recovery. And it's like, it didn't make sense to me. How can somebody be happy without drinking and using? Like, I don't get it. You know, it doesn't make sense. Anyways, thank you. And I'll continue the rest tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I really appreciate all you guys, and I love you.